Chairperson, guest of honor, distinguished board members and executives of Patient Rights Watch Ghana, distinguished speakers at this function, members of this august civil society organization, invited ladies and gentlemen, friends from the media, all protocols observed. It's a great privilege to be part of this inauguration today. The importance of promoting the constitutional and statutory rights of patients in this country cannot be glossed over. Indeed, Article 25 of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights guarantees to everyone the right to a standard of living that is adequate for the health and well-being of himself and his family, including medical care and social services in the event of sickness, disability, widowhood, old age, or lack of livelihood in circumstances beyond their control. So important is it that our supreme law of the land, the 1992 Constitution, guarantees rights to the sick with emphasis on the fact that patients who are unable to give consent shall not be deprived by any other person of medical treatment by reason only of religious or other beliefs. The quest to improve healthcare throughout the world has become a priority of state governments, but the desired improvement will only become a reality when patients and users of healthcare facilities are adequately educated on their rights and responsibilities. Building a partnership in the circumstance becomes crucial. However, the rights and responsibilities can only be asserted and exercised when the citizenry are aware of the rights and responsibilities. It is good to have health facilities put up and equipped with the latest and modern equipment of world-class standards, but ignorance of one's rights could derail any good initiatives, so education is pertinent. The mission of Patient Rights Watch Ghana, which is to protect and advance the constitutional and statutory rights of patients, as well as contribute to improving the standards of healthcare in Ghana through advocacy, research, and education, is laudable. It's a worthy and noble cause. As a society, we could draft and pass all the progressive laws and statutes central to a humane healthcare system, but without education, what useful purpose would they serve? To tread the path, the Ghana Health Service launched the Patient's Charter. The Charter addresses the patient's rights in the areas of the right to basic health care, irrespective of one's background, the right to information on his medical condition, the right to know alternative treatments available, the right to know and identify the medical officers attending to him, the right to consent or to decline to participate in any research, the right to confidentiality on his health status and his medical records at all times, the right to information regarding policies and regulations of the health facility, complaint procedures, and prior knowledge of the anticipated expenditure even before treatment commences, as well as the right to his safety and security whilst at the health facility. I wish to consider a few of them. The patient's right to privacy on his medical condition and treatment is not just limited to doctor-patient confidentiality. It may be discussed with others who need to know. His medical records also ought to be treated as confidential and can only be disclosed to third parties upon the express permission of a patient or in satisfaction of any legal or regulatory requirements or pursuant to an order of a court of competent jurisdiction. In this area of electronic notes in keeping records of patients, the medical facilities ought to put in place not just robust and effective systems, but one that ensures that the medical records of patients are not accessed by those who do not need to know them. We must ensure that the records are jealously guarded. When we fail to be proactive, we open up ourselves to civil liability suits. With one push of a button, the medical records may be accessed by an unnecessary interloper, only to be found in the public domain. This is a challenge that confronts us, and we need to deal with it effectively. Although patients have a right to emergency procedures being carried out and sometimes upon referral to other health facilities, the patients and or their family members have a right to such information and the expenditure to be incurred in order to make informed decisions. The timely disclosure of this information is desirable. Of paramount importance is also the right of a patient to good quality care in an environment devoid of any form of abuse or harassment. All of these rights are entitlements of patients. whatever their race, place of origin, political opinion, creed, or gender, but subject to the respect for the rights and freedoms of others or for the public interest. The COVID-19 pandemic restrictions were a classic case. Some rights had to be curtailed for the public interest. The Patient's Charter by the Ghana Health Service also prescribes responsibilities. These include the obligation on a patient to provide the health provider with adequate information, seek additional information or clarification when in doubt regarding the patient's treatment, comply with the treatment as directed by the medical officer, inform caregivers of any issues in adhering to the prescribed treatment, acquire knowledge on the preventive and simple curative practices, maintain a hygienic environment, obtain the necessary information on the treatment and accompanying expenditure to be incurred, respect the rights of other patients, and protect health facilities. These rights and obligations are not exhaustive, and the inauguration of this organization could not have come at a better time. The judiciary is extremely excited about this inauguration and assures the organization that the judiciary will put in training programs to adequately equip judges with the adequate requisite knowledge to adjudicate over such matters in court when the rights of a patient has been or is likely to be contravened in relation to him. Let us remind ourselves that a well-informed patient is in a better position to assert his rights when a healthcare professional fails to exercise a reasonable standard of care. We are going through a period where education is key to the development of the health delivery system. I am confident that Patient Watch Rights Ghana will contribute immensely in the promotion of the constitutional and statutory rights of patients in Ghana through advocacy, research, and education. I thank you all for your attention.